Today we're going to cover an exercise that might one day save your life. My gran recently had a fall and she wasn't able to get off the floor until help arrived. Now, she is okay, but there has been a rise in the number of falls in people over 65, and I won't stand for that. An increase in the number of falls? There has been. We'll go with it. It'll be fine.
Why do we fall, sir? So that we can learn to pick ourselves up.
We're going to turn our greatest weakness into our greatest strength. We're going to use the burpee, as I like to call them, lifesavers, as a tool to improve our mobility, strength, and overall fitness. Before you run away, I've recruited some help so we can cover this exercise at multiple different levels, so there's something that's achievable for you no matter where you're starting from.
Okay.
This is Nora.
Hi.
I'm JP, and this is a full body, follow along mobility workout. Everything today is going to be time-based, so you can work at your own level. And if you repeat this workout, you can add more reps or increase the difficulty of the exercise. We're going to start off with a warm-up because we're both cold. Let's go.
Breathing.
We're going to start off with just a warm-up, 2 exercises, and they'll be really useful later on. You'll see why. For the workout itself, I have a dumbbell here. You only need that if you're at the more advanced level. So to warm up, we're going to get into a nice deep lunge. One foot's going to be forward. Oh my goodness, that was great. You're going to put your hands down beside your foot, and already you might be feeling a stretch.
Already I'm feeling a cramp on my foot.
If you can, we'll push our elbow down towards our ankle and then reach on up towards the sky. And we're just going to go here for 30 seconds, starting now. All the while here, working at your own pace. You'll see Nora and I are going at different speeds, but we're still focusing on the same thing. Pushing the hips towards the floor, trying to keep the chest relatively high so that we're really challenging our groin. And what's really nice, I can hear Nora breathing, so she's breathing out as she goes down to our angle. Wonderful. Okay, let's change sides. This is cramping as well. That's really unfortunate, Nora. Okay, and let's go again. Elbow down, reach on up to the sky. All the while we're keeping that nice vertical shin. Trying to open up the groin and your hip. Getting a bit of rotation through your back as well. And again, just working at your own pace. Beautiful. Nice. Okay. That was exercise 1. Exercise 2, we're going to go the opposite movement. If there we were working the front of our body, next up is the back of our body. We're going to go on our bum. Feet in front, hands behind, and from there we'll lift our chest up and try and lift the hips as high as you feel comfortable before coming back down. Again, we'll go for 30 seconds. 3, 2, 1, off we go. You'll let your head kind of drift back as you lift the chest. Trying to squeeze your bum, squeeze your shoulders together. You can even add a little stretch at the top where you come forward. Now don't worry if your bum is just about leaving the floor. That in itself is great. We just work at your own stage. Relax. Yes, it is. You nailed it. We're going to do all of that once more, starting with our lunges and then our tabletops. Shoulders good?
Shoulders good.
Arms?
Light back into these again.
Yeah. Okay. Back into our lunge. 1 foot forward. Hands down. And rotate. Second time around, you might find the movement feels a little bit easier.
Slightly.
Good.
I think I can put my elbow down a little bit more.
Oh, great. Yeah, it's a great sign. And we'll swap it over. Sometimes you'll get more range of movement. Other times you'll get the same range, but it will feel a bit easier. Nice. Didn't plan on going synchronised normal. It's pretty good. I like it.
I try to keep up with you.
Yeah. That's the advantage of having somebody to work out with. Nice. And relax. So then we'll go into our tabletops. Now with these, if you're finding it's too uncomfortable in your shoulders, you can actually move your hands wider, so long as you've got enough grip to support that. And if not, just see if you can get a little lift. That's great, even for now. 30 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Off we go. Nice deep breath as you go up. Really trying to feel those shoulders roll around the rib cage. Nice. Almost there. There we go. Beautiful. Arms are a bit numb now. Sometimes you can get tingles. That's just your nervous system if you are in that situation. But we've already done quite a lot of work on our hands. And before we get to our first set of burpees, we are going to prep our wrists. We'll do this on our knees. Do you want a mat for your knees?
I think I'm okay.
Okay.
I'll call it.
Perfect. Super. So on our knees, we're going to have our hands facing forward, fingers nice and spread. And from there, we're going to press our weight forward. So we're planching over and feeling a stretch down the forearm. We're going to come back again.
We're just trying to keep this one because this one always wants to go out.
Okay. Yeah, perfect. I love that little turn at the elbow. That's great. And we'll just do 10 pulses. Nice small pulses. Whatever you feel you're able to do at the moment. And if you're finding it too easy, you can add a little bit more weight as you go by lifting one knee or even both knees
I didn't know
off the floor. No, that's that's just me. Yeah, perfect. You're doing great. And you can see how Norah wants to turn those wrists out a little bit. That can ease up things at the start, and as you get further into it, we can go further forward.
It's just the reason why I'm doing that is because this one always wants to go out, this one.
Exactly. And that's a perfect thing to do. Next up, we're going to force ourselves to have those elbows forward by turning the fingers back. Yeah, nice. And then really trying to press our shoulders back towards our hips. And we'll feel that stretch up the front of the forearms again. And again, we'll go for about 10 reps. If you find the rocking back and forth is off-putting, just try and hold the position, and then whenever we stop, you can stop too. Okay. Nice, Norah. And then we're going to turn the hands all the way in and back. You might feel like some sort of horror movie here. A lot of this movement comes from your shoulder blades, so if you're only able to turn in so they're facing, that's cool too, not a problem. And then again, pressing back, feeling that stretch up the back of the forearm. And with this, if it's too much, just bring your hands closer to your knees, and that'll reduce the effort a little bit. Nice. And then last one is the most disgusting of the lot. We're going to go on the back of the wrist, and here we got to be super careful. So plenty of weight back in your hips. You okay?
I'm just going to lift them up a bit.
Yeah, feel a wee bit stiff there.
Right.
So bring the hands right into your knees. That's it, and then just ease down.
Oh, nice.
And what you can do there is you can just have a little wiggle with the elbows, and don't worry about getting them straight just yet, because getting them straight is pretty challenging But if you're at that stage, you can work away. Does that feel any better? No,
I've said too much.
feels rotten. Yeah, it generally just does feel a bit rotten.
Someone just wants to break your wrists.
Okay. Now we've stretched out those wrists, we want to strengthen up the forearms and the fingers just a little bit before we get any further. We're going to do that with some fingertips. Now I'm going to do this on my tippy toes, but I'm going to get Norah to do this on her knees in the classic like bendy elbow, bendy hip push-up. All right. So she's going to go from here, bring herself down as far as she can and push back up. And I'm going to do the same thing on my feet.
Right, so it's
There you go.
bend the elbows, yes?
Yeah, perfect.
Like this?
Yep, that's it. Then press back up. Good. Nice. And we're just going for about 20 seconds here. And obviously if you're in between, you could just do like a kneeling push-up. Or you could go down on your feet.
You'd be surprised how much stress you have in your fingers to push your top body up back up again.
For sure, right? And you can really feel your hands working there.
Very much so.
Good, and relax.
Oh,
Lovely. Now that's straight fingers. Your fingers do also bend at the knuckle, and we might be using that later on. So we'll do one more exercise. And again, Norah's going to do that from her knees with her bent elbows. She's going to go down into a push-up and back up, and at the top, push up on a knuckle and then up on the other knuckle.
so
You
it's
got that? So you go down,
down.
and then as you push up on one knuckle, up on the other knuckle. Lovely, good job. You're going to go about 20 seconds there. I'm going to do the same thing, but both at the same time. And if you're stronger than I am, you can just do the whole thing from your feet. Lovely job. And the advantage there, because we're getting a bit of movement, there's a little bit of blood flow too.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, fine.
Great. Next up, first set of burpees. There's a few ways we can do these. The first version, we would set our hands down on the ground, take a big step back, big step forward, and stand back up. So we keep our arms nice and straight as we go here. Slightly more challenging then, we would step back, do a push-up, whether it's on your knees or your feet, and step back in again. So we're just adding in an arm bend here and make that push-up as difficult or easy as you need for right now. And the most challenging version, you would take your hands to the floor, jump your feet back out, do your push-up, jump back in, and explode up. We're going to do our first set of burpees. We're going to go for 1 minute. Norah's going to do her version, and I'm going to do my version. Norah's version, she's going to go down into straight arms. She's going to step down with a leg, step back up with a leg. Okay. Off you go. Oh my goodness. Exceeding expectations. Well done, Norah. Equally, if you're not able to get the whole way down, just go straight arms. That's cool too. Not a problem. I've got the dumbbell here. I'm going to make my burpee a little bit harder by going chest to the floor and then lifting it all the way up overhead, changing arms, and doing the same on the other side. We're going to go here for a minute, and you go at your own pace. Don't worry about us. Nora's going to do hers, I'm going to do mine. I'm going to try not to breathe too heavily, otherwise it'll be a bit off-putting.
Right.
All right?
Breath in.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, off we go. Now, if this is your first time doing this movement, you might find you start off very fast with enthusiasm
Yes, I think.
and then slowly taper off as you go. Don't worry about that, that's totally normal. But in time, we'd like to see a little bit more of an even pace as we go. No, not even close, Nora. We've got 20 seconds. Going well. And time. And if you're like Nora and got the wee bonus rep in there, that's great. Good job. First set done. Fantastic. Okay, now our heart rate's up, our body's starting to get warm. We're going to go and do a little bit of core, or as my hairdresser used to say, a little bit off the front, back and sides. We'll start off in a plank. Now here, we can go on your forearms, kind of think knuckles together and pressing down through your wrist. And from there...
Wrist on elbow.
Correct.
Right, okay.
Exactly, yes. Because what you were doing there, it's going to put a lot of pressure on the bony part.
Yeah.
So you want to spread that across the forearm. Then you can either go on your knees or your feet, depending on how strong you feel. Oh, nice. And if we can get those hips a wee bit lower. Awesome. And relax for me. We're going to be going here for 30 seconds. If you're like me and you want a little bit more of a challenge, you can turn your hands out slightly, bring the hips forward and pull that tummy in tight. So we're thinking hips kind of on top of your wrists. All right, 30 seconds on the clock. 3, 2, 1, off we go.
Is that high enough or is it too high?
Hips a wee bit lower. Unreal. Not gonna lie, Nora, I think this is a bit ambitious for myself. Try and hold that squeeze. Tummy pulled in. Bum nice and tight. Yep, that's it.
Oh my goodness.
You're not alone in that wish there, Nora. So that was the front. Next up is our sides. I'm going to be doing a version of a side plank. I'm going to get Nora to do a standing version. So you're going to use this dumbbell. You're going to hold it on one side. We can either just hold it for the 30 seconds, or if you're feeling up for it, you can reach away down and bring it back up.
Okay.
Lovely.
That's heavy.
Yeah. If you're joining me, we can go on a straight arm or forearm. And if you're up for it, we'll lower and raise those hips. 30 seconds. 3, 2, 1, go. So Nora here is doing the standing version. A lot of times, if you're trying to do a side plank, but your shoulders aren't able to support you, it can be a bit demoralizing. So the dumbbell version is great and still very effective. We can add more and more load until you feel comfortable on the ground. It's 30 seconds. It's taking forever. And relax. Nice. Quick reset. We're going to be doing the other side. And equally, if you're in between kind of the two, what you could do is you could go like on your knees, kind of in a stagger or stack. And that again reduces just a little bit of the load. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1, off we go. If you're on the ground, let's try to keep your shoulder pulled down towards your hip, whether you're doing a static or a dynamic version. And if you're standing, imagine there's a wall in front and behind. So you're staying between the two walls as you go. And relax. What side felt easier?
Sort of neither. both were equal. Both were equal. I think this one was probably a bit more done, but then you see what I did was I held it a bit longer.
Oh yes, at the start, because I was waffling.
This one, yeah. And instead of bringing it up and then down, you know, doing with that sort of thing.
Gotcha.
Whereas this one here, I went up and down as I needed to.
Like a piston.
Exactly.
Great.
Yes.
All right, we're going to finish off then in our reverse plank. So here we can do what we did in the warm-up with our tabletop, and we're trying to hold that. Or we can go up to straight legs and try and get that same kind of position. Equally, if your shoulders are a bit sore for this, you could like put your shoulders on a sofa and use the sofa to support you off the floor rather than your arms. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Now, as you start to walk your feet out so your legs are straighter, you're going to get more and more hamstrings. Up until then, we just want to focus on the shoulders pinching together, that chest spreading wide, pulling the tummy in flat. Nice. Try to keep that breathing calm. Going well here, and time. Great. Now, part of the reason for working the core there is it's all the supporting muscles we need to push up off the floor, right? So what we should find is that this set of burpees is going to feel a little bit harder because we're a bit tired. But because we've engaged the muscles, we might find the first few a little bit easier. Short-term gain, long-term loss. All right, back up on our feet.
Do you want this up?
Oh, I'd love it. Yeah, can't wait.
It's very heavy.
It's super heavy, yeah. Thank you.
What weight is that?
It's 15.
Right.
All right. 1 minute on the clock. 3, 2, 1, off we go. So we've just worked that core. Let's really see if we can think about keeping it squeezed as we go, so that as you're coming up and down off the floor, there's a little bit of a push off. Whether you're doing this with straight arms or bent arms, process is the same. And if you're using the dumbbell, those obliques are going to be challenged too. 20 seconds. Almost there. And time. Beautiful. Bonus. I love it.
Okay.
Good news. That was our hardest set.
All right, okay.
We're going to do a few stretches this time and see if by getting things longer, if the burpees feel any easier or if they still...
Still doing burpees after the edge of each session?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So, depending on where you're tight or where you're restricted will depend on whether you find the standing or the sitting version easier. I'm going to get Norah to do the standing version. So Norah's going to stand wide with her feet, trying to keep them pointed forward. She's going to have her legs nice and locked, and she's going to reach down the outside of her leg as far as she can. Okay? Wonderful. And she's going to be holding that, and then she'll do the same on the other side. You can relax for now.
Okay.
We'll do 30 seconds at a time.
Okay.
You could...
30 seconds each hold?
Yes.
Right, okay.
I know, it's quite a long time. You could eventually work down to the floor. If you're going to do the sitting version, you can do it without assistance, or you could use a wall for that same kind of thing. We're going to be doing the same idea. We're going to reach over one side or... Right. 30 seconds on the clock. 3, 2, 1, off we go. All the time here, trying to focus on your knees. Try and squeeze your quads to get your legs straight. And nice deep breaths as you breathe out. Try to sink a little bit deeper. Good job, Norah. Well done. You're doing great. You've got 5 seconds to go. Great work, great work.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Exactly. We'll take a short break. And then...
Burns.
Oh, right up the back of the leg? Yeah. Anything at the sides?
Not too bad, not too bad.
Great. And then we'll do the other side. 3, 2...
I think I was more concentrating on the legs and feeling about anything else.
1. Off we go. So whether you're standing or on the ground, you're really trying to get as much of your chest over your thigh and leg as you can, and especially the opposite arm, almost trying to get it to the outside of the leg. Nice deep breaths, really breathing and sinking deep. Trying to press the opposite hip away. And we're done. Nice.
I could feel it, yes. So I must have felt on the other side. I can feel slightly.
Great.
Nothing awfully strenuous, but you can feel just a slight pull.
Perfect.
Up there.
Perfect. And now we can do the same version, except in a pike position. So this time we're going to swap over. I'm going to get Norah to sit down, and I'm going to stand up.
So just...
You're going to be on your bum.
So which way? This way or
You can face whichever way you want.
Just think about watch what you're doing.
Yeah, perfect. So legs are going to be straight and together. And easiest is going to be with the toes pointed, but if you want an extra challenge, you can pull them back towards you. It's going to feel terrible. Great. We'll start off with 5 reaches, where we try to reach down towards your toes.
Oh, touch them.
There you go. Heck yeah, look at that. Try and keep your knees nice and straight. And then we'll hold now for our 30 seconds.
Hold down here.
That's it. Breathe. Nice. You got it. Really trying to keep the legs nice and straight. If you're standing, feel the weight of your body lengthening those hamstrings. If you're on the floor, see if as you breathe out, you can reach. Or just decrease the pressure as you breathe out. 3, 2, 1. Relax. All right. Okay, now we're going to go back to another set of burpees.
Okay.
But the idea here, because the muscles are a little bit freer, this time they might feel a bit easier.
Okay.
You ready?
Yes.
3, 2, 1. Here we go. Now, depending if you're stepping up or popping up, you may or may not notice a huge difference after the stretch. But either way, we're getting into the deep end of the workout. We're almost there. About 15 seconds. And time. We both got caught off guard that time, Norah.
Yeah.
Good job. Now, I started this video off talking about my gran and how she fell on the ground.
Yeah.
So what if we fell and we didn't have, so we broke our arm and we couldn't push it off the floor? We're going to finish with reverse burpees. Now, a reverse burpee is pretty simple if you've got good mobility like me. You're going to be on your back. You're going to come up into a squat. But most people aren't like me. So we're going to go through a few options. Norah here is going to pretend like she's got a broken arm. She can pick whichever one she wants. She's going to go on her bum.
Oops. Broke my arm.
Nailed it. That was very good. Good acting. We'll get you in Corey yet. Nice. And then, so she's going to tuck one leg, she's going to bend the other, and then she's going to use her non-broken arm to push up into a partial lunge.
And
Unbelievable. Look at that. That's great.
get me to the doctor.
Exactly. Now, elephant in the room, Norah pointed out, well, what if you've broken your ankle? I don't know, guys. I don't know. We're dealing with broken arms today. So we're going to go through a minute of reverse burpees. You can maybe alternate arms if you're able to do that. Another option, if you've got, again, the range for it, is you could do the crisscross. A lot of people find this is something they're still able to do, where they're able to go up and down there. Most people can't. Even you can rock forward into a lunge and step up from there. So there's plenty of options. Get creative with it, and if you're as good at acting as Norah, just like straddle that arm to your body and see what you can do. All right?
Okay, yeah.
1 minute on the clock. 3, 2, 1, off we go. How dare you and your broken arm get in my space? Got 25 seconds to go. This one will probably feel a lot more awkward. That's totally normal. And remember, our hypothetical situation here is something we hope doesn't happen, but we can use it to get a great workout, prep our body through loads of different ranges and movements. Jobs are good. Well done. Thank you, Norah.
Thank you very much.
And is that your broken arm?
It's got better parts.
And thank you very much for joining us. If you did enjoy this and followed along, please give a comment below so Tom and Jenni don't fire me. And hopefully see you next time.